everyone! On my channel, I analyze song lyrics very in-depth through the lens of literary analysis. In honor of Taylor Swift re-recording Fearless and releasing it this week on April 9th, I present to you, drumroll, I present to you today we will be analyzing the song White Horse. A quick disclaimer before we get started. Music is very subjective, so everything presented in this video is my own personal opinion. I always encourage you all to comment down below what your thoughts are. On my channel, I've analyzed quite a few songs off of Folklore and Evermore. I'll go ahead and link those playlists below if you're interested. I've also analyzed other Taylor Swift songs that will be linked down below. If you have any requests of songs you'd like me to analyze of Taylor or any artist, leave them down below in a comment. I think words are very important. For that reason, on my channel, I tend to concentrate on diction, which is word choice, and connotation, which can be thought of as the vibes or the emotions that the words elicit. Let's get started. So I actually found my Fearless album. Like, look. It's taking me back. Like, I'm so in my feels about this right now. Make sure you leave a comment below what your favorite song from Fearless is. I'm gonna be reading from the album insert. Hashtag memories. Look at the back. I remember I had a poster of this actually. It was like a vertical poster. I just dropped it. It was like a vertical poster of that picture, and I had that up in my room for the longest time. Let's just dive right in. This song was a single. It did have a music video that went along with it, and if you remember, Steven from Laguna Beach starred in it. So okay, let's get started. In Taylor's earlier work, the theme of fairy tales and a knight in shining armor, those themes were a lot more prevalent. That's the vibe I get from the title of this song. In the context of this song, a white horse is referring to like a knight in shining armor, in my opinion. A prince, he's gonna come riding in to save the day. She's gonna get on the back of that horse and they're gonna ride off into the sunset happily ever after. In this context, it's a very romantic sort of image and it connotes like a happy ending. So it's a sort of ideal, that sort of romantic narrative where everything is tied together perfectly with a bow. Taylor sung about this a lot in her first, I would say 3 albums, in Self-Titled, in Fearless, and it was also pretty prevalent in Speak Now. And as she grew and matured, her definition of love changed. When Fearless came out, I believe she was like 18, 19, around that age. This whole song and this whole album is a reflection of her experiences up to that point. Verse 1. Say you're sorry, that face of an angel comes out just when you need it to. As I paced back and forth all this time, because I honestly believed in you. Holding on, the days drag on. Stupid girl, I should have known. I should have known. Reading through this first verse, I think that the protagonist means the main character. I believe they are having an internal monologue, talking to that other person but in their own mind. Say you're sorry, that face of an angel comes out just when you need it to. There's been some sort of conflict where the protagonist's love interest has to apologize. When someone looks like an angel, you believe them, right? You believe that everything about them is truthful, their intentions are pure, and you want to forgive them. From the first part of the song, I already see red flags, hashtag red flag vibes. This face of an angel seems conditional. It's not an ever-present thing. It only comes out when needed. If someone is truly pure intentioned, they would act like that all of the time without even thinking about it. When you have feelings for someone and you see them be very sincere when they apologize, you want to forgive them, right? Because you're thinking, look at them right now, look, they're being so respectful, they're apologizing, and they might be, but you have to keep in mind how they behaved afterwards and behavior that led up to that as well. So to me, it is a red flag that the face of an angel only shows up when it's needed. It's not present at all times. Since the title of the song to me is representing an ideal relationship, I can already tell that ideal is not being met for the protagonist. As I paced back and forth all this time, because I honestly believed in you. The protagonist is pacing back and forth. When you pace, you're very nervous, there's anxiety involved, and you're usually ruminating on something. When you're ruminating, your thoughts are going very fast, and there's often not like a conclusion to it. There's lots of anxious energy here. She's kind of worried, kind of concerned. If the love interest was an angel at all times, I don't think it would cause this anxiety. Now, I'm not saying that if someone has like pure intentions, etc., I'm not saying that everything is going to be smooth sailing. Any relationship is going to have like misunderstandings and, you know, like things that need to be talked out. But what I am saying is that this angel-like behavior is only present when it serves the love interest. Holding on, the days drag on, hold on can be interpreted in different ways. She's trying to hold on to the relationship, not let it slip out of her fingers. It could also just mean holding on in general, just holding on to life. When you really like someone and you start to see that person in a light that's not as positive, it's a very hard thing to do because you kind of have to grieve who you thought the person was. I know I'm making this kind of dramatic, but I think that this song is the accumulation of a lot of events. Certain things have happened over and over again that had led to this song being written. These sorts of emotions are intense for anyone, but I think especially when you experience them at the age that Taylor wrote them, it's even more intense. When you're in your first relationship or two, everything is felt on a deeper level. That's why I'm reading this as a more intense sort of vibe. Let me know if you agree with me or not down below. This is really heartbreaking. I'm sure this has kind of shaken her as well because you question yourself. You realize that your judgment was off. And then you're like, if I was wrong about this person, what else am I wrong about in my life? The days drag on. She is just like trying to make it through. Time is ticking by at a glacial pace. I feel like that's a quote from a movie, but I don't remember what movie that's from. If you know what it is, comment it down below.
By all means, move at a glacial pace. You know how that thrills me.
Time is going by very, very slowly. This means that she's kind of suffering a little bit. Time flies when you're having a good time. She is having the opposite of a good time. So this is not fun. Stupid girl, I should have known, I should have known. She is talking to herself right now. She's kind of introspecting and reflecting a little bit. It's resulting in a little bit of negative self-talk. The word stupid, to me, I mean, obviously it's a negative connotation, but when you feel stupid, you feel small, belittled, you feel like a fool. In my opinion, the protagonist is taking all these emotions she's feeling and she's just funneled it into that phrase. Stupid girl, I should have known, I should have known. I'm sure she feels foolish because she viewed this person in one way and in reality, they aren't like that. I'm sure she feels like she had a lapse in judgment. It's not a fun place to be in. We have repetition of the phrase, I should have known, I should have known. In every single video I do, I state that repetition signifies significance. I personally believe it's very important when certain phrases or words are repeated, especially when it's not even the song title. I should have known, I should have known. You can tell that she's mad at herself. She's like, I should have seen this coming. Like, I could have prevented this. Blaming herself for the situation. The repetition of that phrase also goes with what I said earlier, that there's rumination occurring, pacing around thinking these thoughts over and over again. She's really hurt by this. And the fact that the title of this song is White Horse shows that she really thought highly of this person. She thought it was like a top tier sort of relationship. She's realizing that the relationship is kind of not hitting the benchmark or the standard that she wanted. When we are in these situations, the only thing you can do is try to learn from it and also try not to blame yourself. Just make it into a growing experience. Easier said than done, I know. I was empathizing with the protagonist the whole time, but especially when she says, stupid girl, I should have known, I should have known. It's such an intimate thing in the fact that it's explicitly written out in the lyrics. These are the sorts of thoughts you just think privately, the innermost part of your mind, but it's stated explicitly here. So to me, it's striking. Chorus. I'm not a princess. This ain't a fairy tale. This is so nostalgic for me to read. Oh my gosh, okay. I'm not a princess. This ain't a fairy tale. I'm not the one you'll sweep off her feet. Lead her up the stairwell. This ain't Hollywood. This is a small town. I was a dreamer before you went and let me down. Now it's too late for you and your white horse to come around. She's realizing that this is not a happily ever after sort of scenario. The fact that she's saying she's not a princess, she wouldn't be saying this if she didn't believe the opposite to be true. right? She believed that this was going to be a fairy tale like relationship at some point. When you think of a princess and when you think of a fairy tale, you think of a happily ever after, everything being super cute at all times. But you know, no relationship is really like that. Relationships have ups and downs. To me, it seems like something significant really happened that kind of shook this protagonist to her core. Not only is the protagonist seeing her love interest for who they may be for real, she's also viewing relationships and love stories in a different way, right? When you're younger and you start dating, you kind of view everything with rose-colored glasses. When you have one person negate what you believe about love, it makes you view love conceptually in a different way. And I think back to when she says she's holding on, I think she's just holding on to her whole belief system about love and relationships, reevaluating how she defines love for herself. And the reason I say that is because of the lyric that says, I was a dreamer before you went and let me down. The fact that she says dreamer shows that her whole belief system is being challenged here, right? It's not just this relationship where she's like, okay, this person isn't it. Her whole belief system about love is being challenged. I'm not the one you'll sweep off her feet, lead her up the stairwell. Again, this is illustrating the way the protagonist viewed relationships and love. She's explicitly saying that these things aren't going to happen. She's not going to be swept off her feet. Those are very grand things that occur in romantic movies, and she's like, that ain't it, fam. That's not happening here. She's viewing everything more through a realistic lens, taking off the rose-colored glasses a little bit. She's seeing the reality. This ain't Hollywood. This is a small town. Fairy tales are movies, right? So they're made in Hollywood or by Hollywood. She's like, this is not a movie. This is real life. This is a small town. We're real people. There's no script here. You know, we've gone off script. I was a dreamer before you went and let me down. Again, her whole belief system about love is being challenged here because this person let her down. Now it's too late for you and your white horse to come around. It seems that the love interest wants to fix everything, but it's too late. The protagonist not only sees the love interest for who they truly are, but they've started to view love in a different way. Even if the love interest comes in with a white horse as a knight in shining armor, it's too late. It's past the point of no return because she sees everything with a little bit more clarity now. I'm not saying that she sees love in a healthy way, because I think when your dreams get shattered initially, you may become a little bit too, I don't know, like negative towards love. And then as you have more experience, it'll kind of balance out a little bit. And I do see that happening in Taylor's music as her albums go on, especially that whole thing with, you know, love being burning red, but then it actually being golden. That's a whole thing. I might just make a video on that, about how she viewed love as this burning red and passionate thing. I think the song Daylight is very, very important. The song Daylight off of her album Lover. I did analyze it. I will link it down below if you want to watch it. She realized as she got older that love is a golden sort of thing. It's like daylight. I don't want to get into that too much here, but we know that Taylor's own personal perspective towards love has changed. It's reflected through imagery and diction in her albums. The first time you have your heart broken, you're a little bit more pessimistic towards love. I'm extrapolating a little bit, but that could be happening here. The point is, even if the love interest comes riding in like this, knight in shining armor, she's not going to take them back. That image of the love interest on a white horse for her doesn't mean the same thing anymore. She can look at that and be like, that's fake. That's not real. That is movie magic, right? That horse is not really your horse and you're not really a prince. That horse is like a horse actor and you're a paid actor. You're in hair and makeup right now and this isn't real. She sees through that glitz and glamour of a fairy tale now. She's not gonna fall for it anymore. Verse 2. Maybe I was naive, got lost in your eyes, and never really had a chance. My mistake. I didn't know to be in love, you had to fight to have the upper hand. I had so many dreams about you and me, happy endings. Well, now I know. She is reflecting here. She recognizes she might have been naive. She got lost in her love interest's eyes. She was infatuated with this person. And when you like someone a lot, you might not even notice that they're doing anything wrong. When you like someone enough, all of the red flags, you know, seem green. You know, you're wearing rose-colored glasses, red. When you're viewing everything through a romantic, cute lens, you don't really see red flags. You can't differentiate between them because they all look the same. They all look rose-colored through rose-colored glasses. So she's recognizing that. She's reflecting on her part in this. Not saying it's her fault at all, but she's like, maybe I was naive. Maybe I was just too infatuated with you instead of trying to step back and look at what's going on in a larger picture. This is good. This is healthy in my opinion. Of being like, okay, what can I learn from this? And then she's kind of like sassy for a sec, which I really enjoy sassy Taylor. I stand. My mistake. I didn't know to be in love. You had to fight to have the upper hand. To me, the dynamics of this relationship were not super healthy. It seems like there was a power struggle here and there was not an equal footing. Love interest had the power, but then she realizes that she had to fight to have the power. So this relationship did not seem super stable. There was kind of, like I said, a power struggle present. I had so many dreams about you and me. Happy endings. Well, now I know. Again, she was romanticizing the situation a little bit and she really believed it was going to be a happy ending. She realizes the truth now. Then we have repetition of the chorus. Now we're at the bridge. And there you are on your knees, begging for forgiveness, begging for me, just like I always wanted. But I'm so sorry. She's having these realizations about the love interest and about love and relationships in general. She's having these realizations over a few days because earlier it said the days drag on. So this is not occurring over like a dinner where he's like, I'm so sorry, take me back. No, this is happening over a few days where the protagonist is really thinking through things and really reorienting. She's kind of getting what she thought she wanted. The love interest is on their knees. They're begging for forgiveness. The word begging is very important. When you're begging for something, you're at your wit's end. You need it to happen. It's kind of like a last resort. And when you're begging for something, power dynamic wise, you have lower power. The person that you are begging to has the upper hand here. And that's very, very, very significant here because we're told that there's a power struggle here. They were trying to one up each other to have the upper hand. So the fact that the love interest is begging now shows that he really, really wants it. She has the upper hand here. If this was happening maybe a few days ago before she had these realizations, she would have taken this person back. But she's been able to think through things, right? She's been able to take this specific situation, this relationship with this specific person, and apply it to a general conceptual viewpoint of love and relationships and what she wants to allow in her life. And she realizes that, you know, all that glitters isn't gold. Sometimes you are like a knight in shining armor on a white horse, but she's seeing through that now. She's not bamboozled anymore. She's like not as naive. She's sorry because she's not gonna accept the apology and take them back. Verse 3. 'Cause I'm not your princess, this ain't a fairy tale. I'm gonna find someone someday who might actually treat me well. This is a big world. That was a small town. They're in my rearview mirror, disappearing now. And it's too late for you and your white horse. Now it's too late for you and your white horse to catch me now. I really enjoy this verse. We do have repetition of, 'cause I'm not your princess, this ain't a fairy tale. That's a repeated lyric from the chorus. But this time, right after it, we have some very strong words, which I appreciate. I'm gonna find someone someday who might actually treat me well. We need to set the bar higher. In a relationship, a very basic thing that needs to exist is that the other person treats you well, as you should to them. The fact that this is stated explicitly shows that this was not something that was happening. Right? The word actually, that kind of qualifier there is very important. It shows that this person was not treating her well. I would argue that's like the very foundation of a relationship, respect and treating each other with kindness. The fact that that did not occur, like, no. You know, in certain situations, you may not realize that's happening. When you're in the situation, it's very difficult for you to see it for what it is sometimes. So again, no blame. When you realize it, first of all, you kind of feel mad at yourself a little bit, or you just feel like a stupid girl or a stupid person. I'm really glad that the protagonist realizes that she was not being treated well. I love that it says, I'm gonna find someone, not that I'm gonna try or I may find someone. There's like no question about it, which I appreciate. She's kind of taking the power back for herself. This is a big world, that was a small town. I love that. I love that sort of progression. We went from this ain't Hollywood, this is a small town. So when you think of Hollywood, it's kind of like bigger than life in a small town. It's not a city, it's like a smaller dot on a map. But now she's like, this is a big world. She's doing a few things here. This is probably one of my favorite lyrics in the song. She's first of all showing growth, saying that, you know what? I exist not only in this small town, I exist in this world and I can go anywhere I want. Literally or metaphorically. This can be like a literal, oh, I'm like moving to the city to follow my dreams, or it can just be like, it doesn't matter where I live. Like, this is a big world, meaning metaphorically that There are so many possibilities for me and they're all positive. There are so many people in this world, which means that I don't need to tolerate your behavior. I thought you were the only person for me, but it turns out I have options. You're not one of them. Yes. They're in my rear view mirror, disappearing now. She is moving on from this relationship. And when she says rear view mirror, I really enjoy this image. She's driving in a super cute car, the rear view mirror right there, and she's seeing that relationship in her rear view mirror, and it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller until it's like a little dot, and then it's like disappearing and it becomes invisible, and it's not even gonna linger in her mind anymore. Right? She's moving past it. She's driving on to bigger and better things. She's metaphorically driving out of that small town, or literally, but she is moving on to things that are gonna serve her. And it's too late for you and your white horse. Now it's too late for you and your white horse to catch me now. There are two words that I think are very significant here. The word now and the word catch. When she uses the word now, this means that like right now it's too late. It brings you into the present moment a little bit more intensely. She's like, now. It's like in the past this might have worked, but right now it's not going to. For me, this is showing the growth that has occurred. And the word catch is really interesting because this shows that she is walking away from this or driving away from this metaphorically. If the love interest tries to get her back, you have to catch her because she is so far ahead of them. They're in the rearview mirror. They're like a tiny speck, like you can't even see them anymore, right? Like literally by. She is something that has to be caught now because she is a woman, and I'm saying woman because I'm viewing this from the perspective of Taylor, but this is a person, this is a protagonist that is in charge. There's someone on the move to bigger and better things. I honestly don't think the love interest is even going to be capable of catching them. The protagonist is moving far too fast for them. They're stuck in the rearview mirror, right? So yeah. Now let's look at the outro, the last two lines of this song. Oh, try and catch me now. It's too late to catch me now. The way Taylor sings this is super cute, but when you read it without the music and the melody, it's kind of like a challenge, like, oh, come and try to catch me now. Like, I dare you. You're literally gonna fail, so good luck. It's too late to catch me now. That's a very definitive statement. There is an awareness of the growth. The protagonist recognizes that they are existing in an elevated plane of understanding now. They view that relationship in a different light. They see it for what it was, and they know what sort of behavior they're going to tolerate. So not only did they grow, they also recognize that they grew. And that's where the power lies. In conclusion, White Horse is about heartbreak. A dream is shattered. It's like a reality check. So it is kind of sad, but it's a very beautiful song. At the end, it's very, very happy in my opinion. Growth hurts. Growing pains is a phrase that exists. The protagonist came out stronger. They know what they deserve, and they're not going to tolerate any less. Overall, I view this as a song of growth, and it's something that should be applauded. So, yay. That's all I have for this song. Please comment down below what your thoughts are. I want to know. If you have any requests, leave them down below. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.